With the American Heart Association and the research and stuff that they're doing with strokes and the education that they're putting out, connecting the two, I probably wouldn't be here today. Well, I had been working with this patient most of the morning, so we were familiar with each other.
I was working up in my office in the trauma center. Received a phone call that something was wrong with one of the nurses in the emergency room.
And she said, "Are you sure you're okay?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm fine." Or in my head, I was saying, "Yes, I'm fine," but apparently I wasn't.
Just walk in and see my charge nurse, who has been a charge nurse here for 20 years, crying while we're taking care of her. It's devastating. It's worst nightmare for a director.
I've never had any problems before. I had, I've had my checkups and all, but I knew I had a heart murmur, but I didn't know, that it would be me that would be the one having a stroke.
She was aphasic, which means she's unable to speak. She was paralyzed on one side. Classic stroke symptoms.
Stroke is a very broad term utilized when there is lack of blood flow to the brain. Generally speaking, patients present with weakness on one side of the body, difficulty with speech, vision, difficulty walking.
The nurse that came in she said you had the classic signs. You had the facial droop, the right arm.
There could be weakness or numbness on one side of the body, difficulty walking, or visual symptoms such as blurring of vision or loss of vision in one or both eyes.
My vision was not very clear at all, it was like just being in a dark room and hearing voices.
You don't think you're vulnerable until you see one of your colleagues laying on a stretcher, unable to speak or move. You could see in her eyes that she was aware of what was going on. But for one of our own, it brings it home really quick.
Time is of the essence. It is commonly said that time is brain, and early recognition and expeditious interventions are critical towards ameliorating and attenuating the signs and symptoms of stroke.
We were frantic, trying to get things done as quickly as we could, because the faster we can care for her, the better of an outcome that she's going to have. She is an endless bound of energy. She has a very full life, raising a family, volunteering. She continues to raise money for some charities that are near and dear to her heart. There would be a void without Sharon here.
We are working closely with the American Heart Association towards obtaining a comprehensive stroke center status at UTMB.
We have made so many huge strides over years on how we treat and approach the care of stroke patients, mostly in part because of a lot of the funding that we receive from organizations like the American Heart Association.
I was lucky because I was at work in the ER, but not everybody is that lucky that they're where they need to be at the time that they need to be there.